Welcome to Always Intense, where every wave tells a story. Out here, calm can turn to chaos in seconds, from massive storms to catastrophic collisions. These are real moments, caught on camera when man faces the fury of the sea. Brace yourself. Let's begin. Coast guards risk their lives every day, on stormy seas. One mistake can mean disaster. Every rescue mission is a race against nature, and sometimes against fate itself. Caught in a violent Mediterranean storm, the Grand Voyager fought 30-foot waves and failing engines. For hours, the crew battled nature's wrath before regaining control. A chilling reminder, even the biggest ships are fragile in the face of the sea. In Russia, a simple cargo loading went horribly wrong. A mountain of timber broke loose and crashed into the water, while the supervisor stood frozen cigarette in hand. Even veterans of the docks can't predict when chaos strikes. During a high-speed race, a powerboat dove underwater and resurfaced seconds later. Miraculously, the crew survived without injury. It became one of the most incredible clips ever captured, proof that luck sometimes floats. In the Pacific, a massive oil tanker faced waves tall as buildings. Its bow vanished beneath the water before bursting back through walls of foam. Steel groaned, engines screamed, but the ship held on. A raw display of strength versus the sea. In the Philippines, the ferry MV Island Roro 1 capsized after ignoring safety limits, overloaded by 25 tons. The ship rolled and sank near Consuelo Port. Investigations revealed poor training and reckless management, a preventable tragedy that cost lives and changed safety laws forever. April 2018, Istanbul. The Maltese bulk carrier, Vita Spirit, lost steering and rammed into a historic Bosphorus mansion. The impact destroyed the 18th century landmark and led to a $50 million lawsuit. One small failure, one huge consequence. October 2015, off the coast of Bali. A passenger ferry's engine failed mid-journey and began taking on water, with passengers panicking. Rescue boats arrived just in time. No lives lost, but the ferry never sailed again. At Pakistan's Karachi port, two large vessels collided during docking. One mistake in manoeuvring caused massive damage and a nationwide investigation. Experts later pushed for better mooring systems and crew retraining, because in tight waters, precision means survival. Brazil, 2020, the Stella Banner, a colossal bulk carrier loaded with 300,000 tons of iron ore, developed hull damage and began flooding. The captain made a life-saving decision, grounding the ship before it sank. Sometimes, the hardest choice is the right one. In Ecuador, a cargo vessel lost control and smashed into a bridge connecting Santi Island. The impact tore through the concrete structure, cutting access to thousands. The company behind the ship was ordered to rebuild it within 3 months. Actions have consequences, especially at sea. Taiwan's Keelung port witnessed chaos when a COSCO shipping vessel slammed straight into the pier. The collision caused major structural damage and sent shockwaves through the dock. A single steering error cost millions in seconds. Italy's pride, the LHD Trieste, at 33,000 tons. It's the largest warship built since World War II, during its launch. Massive chains controlled its descent into the water, a breathtaking moment of power and precision, a celebration of engineering and national pride. Built in 1962, the legendary RV Flip research vessel stands upright in the ocean. It rotates 90 degrees to form a floating laboratory, one of humanity's most unique marine platforms. Now, revived for a new era, Flip continues exploring the deep like no other. A cargo ship loaded with vehicles suddenly caught fire mid-ocean. Many blamed electric cars, but investigations found no link. It began with a simple electrical fault, proving that, at sea, even a small spark can ignite disaster. yacht entered a lock too quickly, caught in the propeller wash of the ship ahead. The current pulled it sideways, panic set in. It's a lesson every captain knows. Never rush the sea. The sea doesn't wait, and it doesn't forgive. Compact, yet powerful. A tugboat is launched for duty. It may be small, but it can tow giants, carrying the strength of an entire harbour in its hull. A silent reminder that even the smallest vessels can do the greatest work. Boat launches gone wrong, anchors missed, cranes collapsing everyday moments that show how thin the line is between routine and disaster. At sea, mistakes happen fast and the ocean never gives second chances. From storms to collisions, from triumphs to tragedy, each story holds a lesson. Respect the sea, follow safety rules, train your crew, and above all, protect our waters. Because the ocean gives life and it remembers everything. This is always intense, reminding you, stay alert. But these are not isolated incidents. Across different oceans and coastlines, the same forces are at work. Storms intensify, systems fail, and routine voyages turn into battles for survival. Each story that follows reveals how quickly the sea can take control. For the crew, this is a moment of intense pressure and raw inspiration. Brave. Isn't it? One wrong move, and the ship could turn sideways, facing the wave head-on in a deadly position. This is no reenactment. What you're watching is the real life of seafarers. Look at this boat. It seems like the ocean could swallow it whole at any second. In this shot, a car is just about to board a ferry when a massive wave crashes. In truly dangerous situations like this can strike any time the weather turns. Reaching a ship in rough seas is no easy feat. Every step is a battle with the ocean. Danger is always just one slip away. Nature's power is unstoppable. In Greece, a storm brought in raging waves that smashed boats against the shore. People could only stand and watch helpless. Oh my God! This scene is both strange and deeply unsettling. What could be happening beneath the water to cause such panic? Launching a ship, putting a newly built vessel into the water for the first time, is one of the most critical moments in shipbuilding. It marks the transition from dry land construction to testing and real-life operation at sea. There are several launching methods depending on ship size, geography, and local shipbuilding techniques. The three most common are slide launch, the traditional method where the ship is placed on an inclined ramp and gradually pushed into the water. Crane launch, used for smaller vessels, common in modern industrial shipyards. Floating dock launch. Designed for very large ships, the vessel is carried to deeper water by a floating dock, and then gently submerged until it floats on its own. Ships are designed to operate in water, but they're built on land where assembly, inspections, and coatings can be done efficiently. Lowering a massive structure that weighs anywhere from hundreds to tens of thousands of tons into water without damage is a complex engineering challenge. Have you ever noticed dolphins swimming right in front of a ship's bow? They're surfing on the pressure wave created by the ship's movement, gliding forward effortlessly. Dolphins are incredibly smart, and it almost seems like they're enjoying it. If you find this fascinating, follow the channel so you don't miss moments like these. A single brutal impact left this small brick-carrying boat in ruins. Hopefully, everyone on board made it out safely. The footage you're watching was recorded on March 6, 2025 in Brazil. A truck convoy carrying soybeans crashed into a bridge pillar on the Madeira River, forcing emergency inspections for possible structural damage caused by the impact. Panic erupted when this massive barge was violently attacked by strong winds. Giant waves crashed over its deck, partially submerging it in seawater. Even high-speed ferries can become wild and uncontrollable like this. What you're seeing is a floating restaurant in Sichuan, China, slowly sinking into the river. The cause, a leak in the hull that let water in. Fortunately, no one was hurt. A violent explosion engulfed the coastal Jaguar in flames, shaking the entire Visakhapatnam coast. 28 crew members jumped into the sea and survived, but one remains missing. Dear God, what a disaster! A tragic miscalculation, a human error with heavy consequences. This 164-metre express ferry lost power in the middle of a stormy bay. It swayed helplessly between massive waves hanging at the edge of disaster. Thankfully, the entire crew was rescued in time. The storm swept through the river, turning both a boat and a ferry into unwilling captives. Each wave lifts the ship's entire body, only to slam it down with thousands of tons of weight. Can you hear the hull groaning under the strain? This is truly an unforgettable experience for anyone drawn to the wild power of nature. Would you dare try it? After watching all of this, maybe you felt the thrill, the awe, or even the fear in the face of nature's might and human courage. But behind these images is more than just entertainment. This is a real world where every second comes with danger, awareness, and bravery. The sea isn't always gentle. And the people who work there, they don't get to choose the weather. They can only choose how to face it. Whether they're piloting cargo ships, fishing near shore, transporting goods, or docking in heavy waves, they all share one thing: the spirit to face the unknown. These are the silent heroes we rarely Does this shot make your head spin? The ocean doesn't welcome the faint of heart. Coming up a cargo ship that couldn't break in time barrels straight into a cruise liner. Tension so thick, you could cut it with a knife. Let's hope everyone made it out safe. Looks like the ship's braking system just gave up on them.
Oh! SSC'ye vurdu. SSC'ye vurdu. SSC'ler gidiyor. Lan hop! Lan seni kaptan yapalım bu limana. Hop! Allah! SSC düştü. Eyvah eyvah eyvah!
Waves taller than the ship itself, but it keeps pushing forward. Hard to believe some vessels have survived the impossible. Next, a heart-stopping moment. A massive ship crashes into the water just inches from a smaller boat. Everyone holds their breath. Thankfully, no serious damage.
Did he? Oh yeah, he did.
Chaos at the dock. A massive ship plows ahead. smashing into smaller boats like it's clearing the water of obstacles. In this chilling shot, a massive waterspout forms right in front of the ship's bow. It looks like an angry sea monster rising from the depth.
Oh my goodness.
It does look like it's getting close. It's not fucking silent. That's all it's. Let's drive through it.
Video.
That is so cool.
That is so cool! What the hell? Oh my god! That's so cool! Oh my god! No, we're not going close.
Oh!
Getting out of here. It's just formed right now. That's so crazy. Let's go.
Yes,
Alright, that one is now.
oh my god!
Raging currents toss the boat back and forth. It's struggling hard and dangerously close to being swallowed whole. That was dangerously close for that man. This is what happens when a ship that's too tall tries to squeeze under a bridge. The impact was so violent, it snapped the entire bridge in two. A major collision off the northern coast of the UK. An oil tanker slams into a container ship, triggering a massive blaze. Firefighting boats rush in amidst the chaos. Looks like someone was a little too confident, and it ended in a costly crash. It just wouldn't stop. This ship rammed another that was peacefully docked, a cold, terrifying impact.
Твою мать, блядь.
In a shocking twist, a ship crashes straight into a parked car near the shore. Luckily, no one was inside. The next incident, a small boat loses control, causing a chaotic collision.
Suami batıyor şu anda. Hızlı batıyor.
This video captures the moment a ship slowly sinks into the sea. Thankfully, everyone made it out safely. A tense moment, the ship tries to regain balance after smashing into a bridge. That must have scared the life out of the passengers on board. Look at this, seawater mixed with battery acid triggered an explosive fire in the middle of the ocean. Absolutely horrifying, and all that's left is scorched metal floating aimlessly. This footage shows you the raw power of a furious sea.
Wow! Grande! Grande! Wow! Mamma mia! The wind is coming from
In this situation, a cargo ship crashes straight into a massive iceberg. My God. It's not every day you see a ship sink in real life, and surprisingly, the crowd seems oddly fascinated watching it happen. Far offshore, a tiny boat battles against towering waves, nearly 10 meters high. Each crashing swell lifts the hull skyward, only to slam it down with brutal force. The groan of straining metal mixes with the howling wind as the ocean unleashes its fury. A cargo ship carrying 12,000 tons is struggling in the open sea as a Category 10 storm rages on. Fierce winds lash the vessel, waves pound relentlessly, water crashes over the deck, and the hull shakes violently. Everything feels like it's on the brink of chaos. A fishing boat faces massive waves, a terrifying reminder of just how fearsome the open sea can be.
Anjay, kelem. Badai. Transfer solar. Oi! Woo!
The massive storm caused severe damage to the dock, and the safety nets were torn apart. The aircraft carrier is now out of operation. The crew on board is filming the raging sea as waves rise like monsters, ready to swallow the tiny vessel hull. The The camera shakes with each violent hit, a raw, unfiltered moment from the heart of the storm. By morning, the storm hadn't weakened, if anything. The winds were fiercer, the waves more violent. The ship kept fighting, holding on against nature's relentless assault.
Yes!
In another area, a small boat is being tossed around by massive waves. The person on board captures the terrifying scene waves slam against the sides again and again, rocking the boat violently, as if it could capsize at any moment. A supply ship, en route offshore, runs straight into a massive storm. Fierce winds whip across the deck as towering waves crash again and again.
Il est cassé. Là, il est coupé en deux. Là.
A Spanish cargo ship was split in two by massive waves just off the coast. The extreme weather is making rescue efforts incredibly difficult. With powerful winds and limited visibility, every passing second is a race against death. A massive wave rises like a sea monster, charging straight toward the tiny boat. It wants to swallow everything, the vessel, the crew into the depths of the ocean. This is the brutal force of the ocean, unleashing its fury on a cargo ship out at sea. The vessel shakes violently in the storm, looking as if it's moments away from going under. Thankfully, rescue teams reached the scene just in time and evacuated the entire crew safely. Even as 20-meter waves slam into the warship, shattering windows, everyone on board seems oddly thrilled filming the moment, in awe of the ocean's raw, unstoppable power. A breathless moment, but also absolutely thrilling. Did you hear that crashing glass? That's when a passenger ferry was suddenly hit by a massive wave offshore. The passengers looked visibly shaken, clearly terrified by the unexpected encounter. A fishing boat was heading into rough seas with strong winds when its engine suddenly failed. The vessel drifted helplessly through heavy waves, unable to steer. The crew was forced to send out a distress signal, waiting for rescue from shore. Fortunately, both ships made it back safely. Just watching the footage is enough to take your breath away. The power of those waves is unreal, right? Hit that follow button. Let's dive in. Oh my god, just look at these monstrous waves trying to swallow the bow of the ship. Even the slightest mistake could sink the entire vessel in seconds. Look at that massive waves are pounding the shore, roaring like they're about to sweep away everything in sight. This isn't for the faint of heart. Every wave slams the hull like it's trying to tear it apart. Towering waves crash down on the deck, a brutal reminder that the ocean never shows mercy. In the eye of the storm, this fragile vessel is risking everything against nature's fury. Would you dare set sail in conditions like this? This is the harsh reality fishermen and sailors face during storm season. Never underestimate the power of the sea. This rare phenomenon left coastal residents in South Africa speechless. A massive storm swept in a huge amount of sea foam, covering the entire beach in a thick, fluffy layer as if the shoreline had vanished. Oh, no. Looks like this ship is in trouble while docking. The hull just took a serious hit. Let's hope everyone is safe. Oh, no. Looks like this ship is in trouble while docking. The hull just took a serious hit. Let's hope everyone is safe. That scene sends chills down your spine. In this video, the chemical tanker Blue Star ran aground off the coast of Spain. 2 tugboats rushed in for a high-stakes rescue, and after a tense operation, the ship was safely towed back to port. A heart-stopping moment, a sudden waterspout formed right on the ocean's surface. Its violent swirling force could devour anything in its path. This massive vessel looks like a toy tossed around by angry seas. Every wave crash feels like a punch to the gut. Watching this, it's hard to believe humans are in control. Nature is clearly the one calling the shots. Those giant hailstones pounding the sea are insane. The two sisters are probably screaming out of both fear and excitement. What a once-in-a-lifetime experience!
I think I'd be in the water, to be honest. Are you joking? That's it.
A rare and peaceful encounter between humans and a whale shark. So close, yet so calm. The ocean can be surprisingly gentle and magical. Mooring it may sound simple, just tying ropes to dock a ship. But in reality, it's one of the riskiest jobs in the maritime industry. Those who do this, called mooring men, or dock workers, face deadly hazards with every shift. A single misstep could mean life or death. Imagine a 50,000-ton cargo ship drifting into port. The force from the vessel, waves, and wind puts immense pressure on the mooring lines. These lines are made of heavy-duty steel or synthetic fibre, but they can snap, and when they do, it's like a giant whip lashing at hundreds of kilometers per hour. One hit could instantly kill or cause devastating injuries. There have been tragic accidents where mooring lines suddenly broke due to extreme tension or improper handling. Victims didn't have time to react, suffering broken bones, head trauma, even death on the spot. What makes this job even more intense is that it often happens at night or during bad weather when ships need to dock urgently. In the cold, wind and rain, mooring workers must operate fast and with total precision. One small error could spell disaster for the entire docking process. Always respect mooring zones. Never go near unless you're trained and authorized. Those massive lines can turn deadly without warning, and in that moment, no one can save you. In this clip, a small boat crashes into the USS Midway. The driver was arrested shortly after for operating while intoxicated. Have you ever seen how people in Bangladesh board boats? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. You're witnessing a landslide crashing into the sea. Nature is majestic but never shy about showing its terrifying side.
Back it up, back it up.
This is what happens when giant sheets of ice collapse into the ocean, sounding like thunder. Seawater sprays high, and the surface shakes violently.
Okay. Yes, ist nah. Okay, es gibt eine riesen Wetterknuss, Mann.
The ocean is a truly unique place. At times, it's peaceful and stunningly beautiful. But in just moments, it can turn violent and unpredictable. Giant waves, sudden whirlwinds, lightning strikes, or a small mistake can throw a vessel into life or death situations. We often think humans are advanced with big ships and powerful machines. But when faced with nature, we're still incredibly small. No matter how well we prepare, we can't control the weather or stop the waves. That's why we must always respect the sea and never underestimate it. As you've seen in this video, people working at sea face real dangers every day. From sailors and fishermen to mooring crews, they work hard and put their lives on the line. A single mistake could be fatal. That's not an exaggeration. It's the truth. We should understand and appreciate their jobs more. They're the ones who help ships dock safely, bring food from the sea to our tables, and brave the storms so life on land can be peaceful. The ocean isn't always calm. It can be breathtaking, but also terrifying. We can't control it, but we can choose to work and travel more carefully offshore. After watching, what are your thoughts? Have you ever experienced nature's raw power firsthand? Share your stories in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe to Always Intense, and hit the bell so you never miss out on our latest video. Rescue missions into sudden disasters. The pattern becomes clear. The sea tests every vessel differently, but with the same ruthless power, one moment of calm can vanish without warning, and each scene ahead proves how thin the line between control and chaos truly is. Welcome to Always Intense, where stories of human will and strength are born, in the frozen ocean, where waves turn solid under the breath of icy winds. Ships no longer move, they are swallowed whole. Steel breaks, glass shatters, and the sound of metal groans through the blinding white darkness. In this frozen hell, who will survive and who will turn to ice? Welcome to Always Intense, Frozen Hell. A crack echoes beneath the ship's hull, like bones breaking in the winter night. Massive slabs of ice rise, squeezing the ship's body like a steel vise. It all begins when the sea ceases to be water, becoming a deadly trap instead. Ships stand frozen in the sea of ice, motionless like monuments of tragedy, snow-covered sails, white decks, and winds that howl like trapped souls. The ocean does not kill with fire, but with cold, merciless silence.
Nice one. Whoa. Yeah. Hold on.
Steel is cold, but when it meets ice, it shatters like glass. The bow strikes a drifting iceberg. The sound is that of a death sentence. There is no fire here, only the chill that corrodes the soul. Sailors huddle in soaked clothes, their breath freezing before their eyes. They shout, hammer ice, pull ropes, desperate to escape their icy prison. But the cold sea doesn't need to attack. It only waits for you to tire. The sea is no longer blue, but black like dead steel. Layers of ice crack open, swallowing every ship that dares to enter. From afar, they look like frozen ghosts waiting for release. No visible enemies remain, only loneliness, hunger, and cold, slow but certain killers. In absolute silence, they realize the real enemy is despair itself. Giant ice blocks collide, roaring like thunder. The entire ocean trembles, ships split apart. It is nature's fury, cold, yet more destructive than fire. One falls, another keeps pulling. Hands bleed and freeze upon the steel cables. No one speaks. Only the howling wind and fading heartbeats in the snow remain. Winds whip the frost. Ice floods the deck, covering everything. The ship becomes a drifting iceberg, lost in the void, always intense, where sea and ice unite to test humanity. The explosion doesn't come from fire, but from steel cracking under pressure. The hull splits open, water pierces through like an icy spear. The frozen sea devours everything, no trace, no farewell. Amid shattered ice, a few survivors cling to floating debris. Wind lashes their skin. Water turns to blades. Every breath is a battle with death. From afar, a rescue ship emerges through the blinding fog. They charge into the fractured ice, where everything could break apart at any second, because they know saving lives in fire is bravery, but saving in ice is near impossible. As the sun rises, the ice melts slightly, revealing crushed wrecks beneath. The sea is still, but the light reflects only pale, mournful white. The survivors look around, unsure if they've escaped or been left behind. No burning pain remains, only numbness and paralysis. But the pain in their hearts still smoulders, like a flame buried in ice. Each scar is proof of survival amid the cruel cold. We saw the ocean freeze, heard the steel cry, watched people vanish in the snow, and we understood ice can kill the body, but never the human spirit. The sea is not just waves and wind, it is the merciless silence of ice, testing the heart more than any storm, always intense, where humans learn to walk through the cold to find the warmth within. Beneath deep ice, hundreds of ships lie still as if asleep. No light remains, only the calm of frozen death. Each ship is a warning never underestimate the silence of the sea. From the frozen ruins, humans build new ships again, stronger, thicker, ready to face nature's next wrath. For ice does not only destroy, it forges will, like fire forges steel. This is not merely a tale of cold, it's a story of courage, endurance, and the will to live. Ice can freeze the ocean, but never the human heart, always intense, frozen hell. The sea can turn to ice, the waves can crush steel, but the human spirit remains warm, remains alive. This is always intense, where ice tests steel, and humans rediscover their inner fire, if you feel that strength. Subscribe to Always Intense and share your thoughts below. Always Intense, where the inner flame never dies, even in the frozen sea.